Hi everyone, it's me Trevor, and welcome to our Congress series of this week. Before we jump into today's episode, just real quick, I want to mention that we are in week 21. That's right. 9 more weeks. Well, 8 if you're not counting this week. But still. Just about done. And we're now in June. Which actually, yesterday was my 20th birthday. Yeah. Yeah, I know, I'm old. Old, cold, and covered in mold, as my friends would say. But that's besides the point. Today we are talking about the 81st Congress, which was in session from 1949 to 1951. So, the dog's really snoring. I'm actually down here at the main computer right here, and I have my info right up on the main computer. I'm not using my laptop, at least not this week. Maybe next week. Stay tuned. So yeah, how many sessions were there? 2. And I would also like to mention that every Congress, pretty much from here on out, will have 2 sessions. And there'll be no more specials. At the best of my knowledge, no more. There'll always be 2 sessions from here on out. Why? Because I said so. And according to my information gatherer said so. So yeah. In the House we have 435 members, like always. The Speaker of the House is Sam Rayburn, who is a Democrat. Yeah. In which in turn we have 261 Democrats, 168 Republicans, 1 American Labor. Again, I'm not going to tell the joke. You guys know the joke by now. 1 Liberal, and 4 vacancies. Yeah. Okay. By the way, this episode is brought to you by the new Mountain Dew Liberty Brew. 50 flavors in 1. I like it. I think it's been out for about a week and a half now. But yeah, I actually like it. It's not too bad. It kind of reminds me of the USA that came out a few years ago, around this time, or something like that. Over in the Senate, we have 96 members. Again, divide that number in half, tells you how many states we have. We have 48, not 50, but that will come soon. The President of the Senate is, well, first it started out as a vacancy, but then was later filled because, we have a new president. Well, not really a new president, but a new presidential term began during this Congress. It's Alvin Barkley, who is a Democrat. And remember, people, that we're still in Harry Truman's presidency. This was technically his 2nd term. But was also the, he has his own VP now. So, yeah. Actually, would be when his term is wrapping up. But anyways, you get the point. The President pro tempore is Kenneth McKellar, who is a Democrat, which in turn we have 53 Democrats and 43 Republicans. So, what happened in America during this time? Well, a lot. There was a lot that happened, so I kind of got some of the general things that I thought were interesting, and I put them all down on. Yeah. And, remember last week how we talked about the Cold War? Or at least started to? Well, one of the major conflicts of the Cold War kind of began. Ish. Kind of. Sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once here. Yeah, that's better. Sorry about that. So, I have a lot of things here, so I'm gonna try to number them off as quickly as possible. First thing, the North Atlantic Treaty was ratified and established the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, also known as NATO, which we will talk about later on this week. Stay tuned. Second, the Korean War began when North Korea, also known as the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, or DPRK, crossed the 38th parallel into South Korea, also known as the Republic of Korea, which was split after World War II. Which, by the way, I should probably give you all a very quick, brief history lesson about that. That Korea was pretty much their own empire, kingdom, or whatever. Japan annexed it in the early 20th century, and they were under Japan all the way up until their surrender of World War II. After Japan surrendered, the Soviets were controlled the north, and the U.S. was controlled the south. And the split was supposed to be temperate, so that way they can, elect leaders and, modernize the country, or countries. So in the South, I think the first president was Syngman Rhee, something like that. He was elected and pretty much took over from the U.S. military. However, in the North, no. The government pretty much picked whoever they wanted, which pretty much established the communist North Korean state we know today. And the first leader of the country was Kim Il-sung, who is the grandfather of the current leader, Kim Jong-un. Yeah. We will talk about that. We will talk about the Korean War in a future video, in a very future series that more likely will start next year. Stay tuned. So yeah. Third, this kind of goes into with the last one. As of mid-2019, the Korean War is not over. That's right. Meaning there was no peace treaty signed between the North Koreans and the South Koreans. An armistice was signed, which pretty much stopped the actual fighting, but the actual war kind of is still going on. However, the governments of all three countries, of both Koreas and America, are working together to try to work something out. And so far, it's kind of just hanging up on the drawing board, basically. So yeah, it's technically the longest ceasefire agreement in any war in history, as far as I know of. North Korea is one of the 5 communist countries that still exist today. And finally, Remember back during World War II when we were testing our the atomic bomb that we ended up using on Japan when we originally wanted to use it on Germany? Well, USSR successfully tested their own atomic bomb, which will come to haunt us later. Hint, hint, wink, wink. So, thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow for the 82nd episode. And oh boy, you've been waiting for this for a while, and so was I. Stay cool, stay tuned.